Good morning, family. Welcome to Morning Devotion Light. Let's begin by greeting our Heavenly Parent and true parents. 천지인 전 부모님께 기양배. 바로. Now for our family pledge, let's welcome Pastor Milhan Stevens.
가정맹세 1. 자녀국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 번향 땅을 찾아 본연의 창조의 상인 지상 천국과 천상 천국을 창건할 것을 맹세하나이다. 2. 자녀국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 장부모님을 모시어 천주의 대표적 가정이 되며 중심적 가정이 되어 가정에서는 효자, 국가에서는 중심, 세계에서는 성인, 천주에서는 성자의 가정의 도리를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 3. 자녀국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 4대 신정권과 3대 왕권과 황족권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 4. 자녀국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님의 창조의 상인 천주대 가족을 형성하여 자유와 평화와 통일과 행복의 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 5. 자녀국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 매일 주체적 천상세계와 대상적 지상세계의 통일을 향해 전진적 발전을 촉진화할 것을 맹세하나이다. 6. 자녀국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 장부모님의 대신 가정으로서 찬운을 움직이는 가정이 되어 하늘의 축복을 주변에 연결시키는 가정을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 7. 자녀국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본연의 효통과 연결된 위하는 생활을 통하여 심정문화 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 8. 자녀국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 자녀국 시대를 맞이하여 절대 신앙, 절대 사랑, 절대 복종으로 신인의 일체 이상을 이루어 지상 천국과 전상 천국의 해방권과 석방권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Thank you, Pastor Milhan. Now for our opening prayer, I'd like to please invite Reverend Corley. Reverend Corley, could you please unmute and pray with us?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right. Good morning, our Heavenly Parent. We greet you on this brand new day again. I'm so happy to see brothers and sisters here joining the early morning. We thank you for your eternal love, which has always been there, but we have been shielded from it or cut off from it because of the tragedy of the fall. It was so catastrophic, completely severed our ability to connect with you. And you have been working down through thousands of years to remove the barriers by getting us to make certain conditions that would allow us to come closer to you and come to experience your love. Abraham was beginning point in that you were able to connect with him and guide him to make certain offerings, and therefore he is called the father of faith. And it continued down through history with Moses, Jesus coming with the standard of loving your enemy, and now true parents. But we thank you for your perseverance and determination to remove the barriers that have blocked us from knowing you and experiencing your love. But we thank you again for never giving up on us and persevering until the true parents could come, and continuing after that. So thank you again. I offer this prayer in my name, Tom Corley, of the Corley family, and all of us here. Adieu.
That's you. Thank you, Reverend Corley. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, brothers and sisters, let's take a few moments to share our gratitude, and we'll be back in 5 minutes. Welcome back, everyone. We cut you off, Alejita. I'm sorry. Alejita, would you like to share with us today? You're going to have to unmute again.
Yeah. Oh, so that's why you didn't hear me in the first place, because I have to keep unmuting.
Yeah,
Well, I'm sorry. I'm kind of new to this. So,
it's okay.
yeah. So Damian Dunkley preached in Los Angeles. I think it was 2 weeks ago. That was my spiritual birthday, actually. My spiritual birthday is August 22nd.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. I think we talked about that. Yeah, I was here. I don't know. I guess it was one day before or something like that. And we figured out that I was in the church something like 30 or 40 years. I
Oh,
forget.
right.
Somebody, I think,
it was like,
I think, right. Somebody figured it out, right?
yeah, like 47 years or something.
Like 47 years. And I didn't even know that much time had gone by.
Would you like to share about the church that you're attending?
Yes, I would love to do that actually. My pastor's name is Ken Gear. Ken Gear. I think I was about to say something about our church yesterday because I was speaking to a young lady that finally, right, they're figuring out, oh, we should, well, it's funny how much unity people are interested in making with other churches at this time in history, in my opinion. It's like they've taken our ideas, but they don't want to recognize where they came from. It was just in the air and they picked it up, This is how people act. And everybody seems to want to be uniting with other religions and other churches. So she was talking to me about how she wanted to do yoga, but under like a Christian umbrella with like a cross in front of, the yoga stuff. And, because she doesn't want to acknowledge the religion of yoga, just the exercise of yoga. I mean, it's something that's been happening for a number of years now, but it was different because she wanted to hang up a cross in wherever it was that she was doing yoga practices and kind of, like worship Jesus instead of, whatever it is, the different Hindu gods that they believe in that religion or something. I mean, I think it's been happening certainly for a long time in our church that we have Guru Dilepji, who's interfaith, and he brought yoga to 43rd Street, and just not with a religious base, just yoga for yoga's sake, and so it's just now that Christianity is waking up to this whole idea, apparently. And she was like trying to tell me that she wanted to like do some sort of like a payment system with that and teach yoga, Christian yoga, So I was talking to that young lady yesterday in our church, because it was really excellent fellowship, actually. You're not supposed to forsake the fellowship. It's something that you have to do when you're in a church. But so anyway, Ken Gear is my pastor, and somehow we went out to lunch yesterday and we were able to talk about different subject matters. I have to write a letter actually about the gas prices because I want to bring them down where I work. I work in a gas station and the prices are way too high, and I'm thinking that I have to do something for the community. I would really appreciate anyone in our church who knows anything about maybe our relationship to the Middle East and what it has to do with gas prices and what we can do to elevate that relationship so that we can see it in our practical reality, i.e. the gas prices.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Alejita. You're right on point because Father's dream was the unity of all races and all religions.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
So thank you for sharing. Thank you very much for sharing, and good luck to you with your passion.
Thank you. And I'm sorry I have a cold. My voice is a mess, and I appreciate you guys listening as well. Maybe next time I'll be back to normal.
It doesn't sound strange at all. Not at all.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Okay, brothers and sisters, now it's time for our Gottable reading. We're reading from the Mother of Peace, our true mother's memoir. Pastor Milhan.
Thank you, Aunt Kathleen. Welcome back. Glad to see you here and smiling. I know it's not easy. But no pressure to smile. You don't have to smile. Alejita, I think about you time to time, especially when I see your mail.
Ah, well, send it to me if you can.
Oh God, I don't think so. Maybe take a picture. It's just spam. It's just
It
spam.
sounds perfect.
Yeah. All right, let's do our Gottable reading for today.
Welcome to Mother of Peace, and God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes. A memoir by Hak Jahan Moon, a production of the Washington Times Global Media Group, narrated by Alison Hiroto. The witnessing journey was not a pleasure trip. It was a course filled with hardships. They had nothing but the clothes on their backs, and the residents of the villages were just as destitute. Nonetheless, these believers walked as many as 40 kilometers every day and night and lit the fire of the Holy Spirit in every village they visited. My mother made the journey through Shinwiju and on to Gangye, arriving there on the 100th day of their pilgrimage. At that point, the witnessing team sought to cross the border with China into Manchuria, but this proved to be impossible, and they returned home. By the time they returned to Anju, Reverend Yi Yongdo had established a congregation called the New Jesus Church. My mother decided to join that church and invest in her revitalized life of faith. Reverend Yi Yongdo, formerly of the Methodist Church, was not a healthy man. He sometimes would vomit blood and collapse during revival meetings. He created the founding council of the New Jesus Church in Pyongyang, but before he could do more, he passed away at the young age of 33 in Wonsan. After his funeral, the New Jesus Church began again under the leadership of Reverend Lee Ho-bin. For 3 years, beginning in 1933, my grandmother and mother practiced their life of faith at the New Jesus Church in Anju. With the belief that she needed to be pure to receive the returning Lord, my mother repented tearfully every day. Then one day, she received a revelation from heaven. Rejoice! If your baby is a boy, he will become the king of the universe. And if a girl, she will become the queen of the universe. She was sitting under a moonlit sky early in the spring of 1934, just 21 years of age. Although it was a revelation from heaven, her actual circumstances were not such that she could easily embrace such words. Nonetheless, she calmed her heart and accepted it serenely. Whether you give me a son or a daughter, she replied to God, I will consider the child to be as great as the universe, and will raise the child with care as heaven's prince or princess. I will completely dedicate my life for your will. A few days later, Reverend Yi Ho-bin matched my mother to another member of his church, Han Sung-un, a young man of 26. On March 5th, Reverend Yi officiated their marriage. After the marriage, Han Sung-un continued to work as a teacher, and my mother kept house while working hard for the church. My mother kept God's revelation about the child she was to bear in the forefront of her mind. She came to realize that even though the baby would be born into the world through her body, he or she was God's child more than it was hers. She believed that, just as a child was given unto Mother Mary, a child would be born unto her to govern the universe as God's begotten son or daughter. My mother read the Gospels from that viewpoint and determined that, unlike Mary, she would support her child's heavenly mission with body and soul. My grandmother and my mother believed that something great would take place in their church before long. But 3 years passed, and nothing changed. At that time, my grandmother journeyed to Chosun in North Pyongan Province and participated in a gathering held by a women's spiritual sisterhood led by Mrs. Kim Song-do. There, she received much grace. She also learned that Kim Song-do was ministering even though her husband beat her every time she went to church. Mrs. Kim's followers, who were holding meetings in their homes, received the name the Holy Lord Church. Around 1936, my mother joined my grandmother on her journey to Chosun for the first time. As she met Kim Song-do, she knew that God was opening the next chapter in her life of faith. At this point, I will introduce my maternal uncle, Hong Soon-jong. He was not a part of my life in North Korea, but he later played a major role in determining my family's fortunes. He was my mother's younger brother and was very studious and attended Pyongyang Teachers Academy. Every year, he would travel a long distance to visit our family during the holidays. He took the Gyeongui line to Charyangwon Station, from which he had to walk for half a day. My mother was always overjoyed to meet her brother, who had come such a long way to see her. However, she was unable to enjoy much time chatting with him because of her witnessing work. Thanks to the active witnessing of its followers, the Holy Lord Church expanded from Chosun to Cheongju, Pyongyang, Haeju, Wosan, and even Seoul, opening more than 20 churches. In 1943, the Japanese police imprisoned Kim Song-do and 10 or so of her followers. They were released 3 months later, but Kim Song-do passed away in 1944 at the age of 61. My mother and grandmother, who had been attending her church in Chosun for 8 years, believing that they were about to restore the Garden of Eden, were at a loss. Together with all of the church members, they asked God, "Whom should we follow now?" This question weighed on everyone's hearts. Responding to the prayers of this flock seeking a shepherd, the Holy Spirit chose one among them, Mrs. He Ho-bin. Mrs. He had devotedly attended Kim Song-do and was well respected by the entire Holy Lord Church. God guided her to found a new church, which came to be known as the Inside the Womb Church, and gather followers. God taught her how to purify herself and also how to raise children after the Lord comes. Just as God had prepared for Jesus before he was born in the land of Israel, He Ho-bin made thorough preparations for the Lord of the Second Advent, who she firmly believed would be born in the land of Korea. In pursuit of this mission, 1 year later, He Ho-bin summoned my mother. "We need to make sets of clothes for the Lord of the Second Advent, so that he will not be embarrassed when he appears in front of us. You should finish making a set of clothes before the end of each day." Every day Mother sewed for dear life, for she was making the Lord's clothes. While doing so, she thought to herself, "I will have no regrets in my life if I can meet the Lord at his second advent before I die, even if only in a dream." As she sewed one day, she quietly dozed off. In her dream, she saw a robust man in the room, sitting to the east of her, with a small table in front of him, a headband around his head. He had been studying, but he turned to look at her. "I am studying this hard, just to find you." Those words moved her to tears of gratitude and appreciation. She awoke from the dream and realized that this man was the returning Lord. In this way, long before she could meet him in the flesh, my mother had had profound spiritual communication with Father Moon, who came as the Lord at the second advent. That dream gave her confidence to persevere through the long and precipitous path of faith that separated the dream from the reality. During that interim, my grandmother and mother were focused with yearning and impatience for the Lord, the only begotten Son. They, along with the entire Christian world, were unaware of the providential plan for the advent of the only begotten daughter. Father Moon himself was the only one who understood this. As this illustrates, God unfolds the providence step by step, not disclosing the providence of restoration except to those who need to understand and who have set the conditions to do so.
Thank you for listening to Godable. Visit motherofpeacebook.com.
Thank you, God, your parents, for these words today. This is a very special episode discussing the lineage, the preparation for not just true mother, but also true father, and how God had been preparing these spiritualist communities to receive true father at that time, and the dedication of thinking that he would be coming in the flesh, and that they're preparing the clothes and doing all these wild conditions to make sure that the foundation of faith was absolutely solid. Yeah. But they also did not know about the only begotten daughter. This was God's secret that he needed to keep private until the right time. Yeah, because father can take persecution, but the only begotten daughter was not meant to be persecuted. Really, she was meant to be received, accepted. And so there's a lot of preparation for father, but after father was meant to testify to mother, honestly. But let's jump in. The witnessing journey was not a pleasure trip. Does anyone feel the same way about witnessing? Witnessing can be exciting. I can say that. It's like a thrill. You know, you don't know who you're going to meet, and you don't know how things are going to turn out. But it's not a pleasure trip. It's not for entertainment. It's for. But we do experience joy. Don't get me wrong. A lot of joy in witnessing, but it's not. There's a lot of drama, a lot of challenges, but it's a beautiful thing. I will consider the child to be as great as the universe, and will raise the child with care as heaven's prince or princess. Again, as I've been saying every day, this is Daemonim's Parenting 101. Your child is not just your child. He or she is God's child, God's heavenly prince or princess. And we are here to raise them up, and so they can fulfill their purpose. And so you can see how mother was raised. It's a clear understanding. So just like Mother Mary, so she saw herself as like Mother Mary. This is the secret, is to consider, yes, I'm Mother Mary, and in her experiences, I'm sure she was relating with Mother Mary and all the challenges that Mother Mary must have faced, she was also facing, but was able to overcome her personal desires and personal things to lift up true mother. So this is talking about Mrs. Hall, Bin. And God taught her how to purify herself and also how to raise children after the Lord comes. So this is an amazing point that they're thinking about, well, because the Messiah will be born in the flesh, they're thinking, okay, well, the child is born as a baby, not as some dude coming out of the clouds. This is a baby coming out, so we need to raise this child. This is like very unusual thinking in Christianity. Most people just think, oh, well, Jesus is quite mature. Who am I to parent the Messiah? But this is how they were thinking. This is parenting classes. So this is something she was gifted in, raising children and purifying herself to be a good parent. So this is amazing to consider here. So so Daimonim was asked to prepare the clothing. And this is kind of an interesting thinking. Well, we don't want the Messiah to be naked, so we need to make him some clothes. And that might sound bizarre now, but maybe back then in what Korea is so poor, that clothes is a I mean, what should I say? Clothes is a privilege. I know they had to develop their own textile industry so that people wouldn't have to spend so much for clothes. But here they were. And here she said, I will have no regrets in my life if I can meet the Lord at the second advent before I die, even if only in a dream. And then not only that, but she had a dream where Father was saying, I'm studying this hard just to find you. Like, that's amazing. This is, even the Messiah is looking for the believers, for those who would believe in him. So Daimonim she's a parent, and that's her title, is Daimonim, a great mother, great parent. And so she is the one where true mother and true father can seek love and seek guidance, good parenting. And kind of she is the inheritor of all Christian foundation into Daimonim, so that true parents can grow together as a couple. That's amazing. In this way, long before she could meet him in the flesh, my mother had profound spiritual communication with Father Moon, who came as the Lord at the second advent. So this is Mother Mary's, also something Mother Mary did not fulfill, is to believe in her own son. She did not really, she had some understanding, right, when she was conceived and all of this, but it was shady for her. But Daimonim was uniquely gifted to identify the Messiah and the only begotten daughter when they came. So this is, she's very victorious here. Let's see. So again, they were unaware, the Christian world was unaware of the providential plan for the advent of the only begotten daughter. God unfolds the providence step by step, not disclosing the providence of restoration except to those who need to understand and who have set the conditions to do so. This point is, when people ask Mother, why didn't you say this when Father was alive? Blah, blah, blah. Like, they're just trying to accuse Mother of this. It's like, well, maybe you blockheads wouldn't have gotten it then. Maybe it was not God's timing to reveal this truth. So this is it had to be revealed at the right time. Also, the world is changing dramatically. The world's also looking, you can tell they're looking for the divine feminine right now. They're very confused about their gender and identity. And so now it's at the point where people are looking for the eternal life through the mother, peace and heavenly mother. So now is the time to reveal the only begotten daughter, and people will find salvation, full salvation now. So we have to trust that God is doing the right thing, the right time. So Ogmanze, thank you.
Thank you, Pastor Will. All right, family, let's take a few moments to share our reflections. We'll be back in a few minutes. Welcome back, everyone. Hope you had a good sharing. Yumiko-san, would you like to share with everyone today?
I think, yeah, Temonim, Temonim, thinking, her daughter is a God's daughter, not her daughter. But and so I don't have a children, but anyway, I saw a lot of blessing family, and I'm thinking, oh, they are thinking about their children or God's children. Sometimes I feel just thinking their own children. Then so very difficult, but I think is they are all God's children. They have a very nice character. They're nice inside. It's so nice. Then so I think all blessing parents think about their children is God's children. Trust and believe. More believe them is I think what to say. So very important to trust them. I think very
Yeah,
nice. They are very nice.
yeah, I agree. I agree with you, Yumiko-san. Our children are so special, so beautiful, especially third generation. Incredible. Okay, brothers and sisters, thank you, Yumiko-san, for sharing. Thank you. Brothers and sisters, do we have any prayer requests today?
'51 plus. What can I say?
Yeah. Thank you. But actually, it's 46 plus. So they
46
lowered it.
plus.
Yeah, they call it 51 plus, but it's 46. So if anybody has any, friends in the church, any brothers and sisters in the church who are single, looking to get, matched, or hopefully
Pray for them.
pray for that. Yeah,
We'll put them on the prayer list.
yeah.
Oh, you can pray for my daughter and my son. Her name is Faith Jacobs and his name is Sam Jacobs. They're kind of Jacob's children. I really wish that they would find some mates or that they would meet somebody from the church and understand the truth of the church. That would be incredible for me.
Are you in driving distance to the LA church?
Well, I think I'm like 7 or 8 hours away.
Oh. Oh wow.
Yeah. I went for my birthday. I went there for my birthday, but I didn't go to the church itself because I wasn't ready. But I will go. Maybe maybe in January. I'm thinking I might go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other prayer requests?
Dr. Sonneborn.
Yeah,
Wow.
in my skilled nursing home, there's a young nurse from Nepal, and when I began first time I met her, I boldly told her, "You must find your husband right away." I just found myself saying that because I want to have only a perfect husband. So I told her where to go. So you have to go to the Unification Church. So she got as far as reading the Family Fed homepage and learning about our ideas for that. But I haven't gotten her to go actually 43rd Street yet. But I'd like you to pray for her. And her name is Songjok. And she's from Nepal. And she's a young woman. And she's a a licensed nurse.
Thank you, Dr. Sonnenborn. I think in the future, more and more people will come to the Unification Church to look for spouses, because going to clubs and bars and dating sites just doesn't work, on the outside. And so I think when time comes on, people will be looking for good, good spouses, and they're going to come to our church.
I'll put them through the ringer.
They have to have their ministry.
Oh, you gotta have your ministry.
And tied for a year.
Maybe we could have a Friday evening fellowship or something like that. For pure people who want to meet other pure people.
Pure love fellowship. Yeah. Sounds great. It's a good idea. Thank you.
Sounds like a ministry.
Yeah, it does. Okay, brothers and sisters, let's begin our 7 minutes unison prayer. Shijak. Whose beloved Heavenly
Good morning, Heavenly Parent. Good morning, true parents, Heavenly Parent.
Thank you, Heavenly Parent, for
this
reading again of our True Mother's memoir, her words, and her reflection, and her knowledge of her mother and grandmother's life and their history and the history of the Korean people, and her awareness of that and her appreciation of it by mentioning it. Even in every sentence, there is so much to learn about the dedication and the seriousness of the people that have lived before us and walked that path before us. It's a miracle that we're allowed to actually even hear that and know about that, because so far away, Father, from that standard, incredible dedication, with a sense, desire that springs up naturally in the heart of Dave and him to want to meet the Lord, even in a dream. And she did. Not only did she, but she actually was raising the Lord's spouse every day. Got a lot of help.
People must understand how
Herself
important, how valuable to
eating uncooked needles and pine needles. That one example alone, but the severity of each of the days went through, and especially for one more, the grandmother was we who were way on the Christian system, which actually prohibited and was like blocking, was taught like blocking the two parents' path. So it's so grateful to one mom to succeed in inspiring her daughter in ways that your mother would lead finally to a point where your father was able to recognize her. Only one recognize her as the one out of generations of only daughters. What amazing and deep, even though I don't personally understand it, Heavenly Parent, but you have given us this incredible insights now to True Mother's writings. I'm so grateful, Father, for Heavenly Mother, Heavenly Father, Mother, introducing Heavenly Mother, Father also in the divine principle, but it's really True Mother embodying the Mother, the Holy Spirit, is allowing us to be aware, Father, of this new providence. It's been hidden all these years, and we are privy to not only Jesus or true Father, we are privy to the whole of the True Mother, which is unfolding on a daily basis with Dunkley and with Bishop Kim. It's in the womb of this Mother. It's a parent would pray especially for each one of our brothers and sisters who can really add it and move forward in the realization of this providence that we are part of and that we are contributing to. I'm grateful for Milhan Stevens, who has such a grasp, clear clarity. So they're coming and want to be matched through the ringer. Just the fact she said something like that. that tells me that he's really, really top of his game. Heavenly Parent, I pray that you please bless him and his wife Sayaka and Yumiko-san and Holland Cinch and their members, Louise especially, and the Pellers, Father that are there.
So this is the only
The
way that
young
we
needs
can
a lot of work, the parent, and pray for each one of my brothers and sisters on this call. Support each other. I want to thank you for Vera, who has been an inspiration to me, Ichinori. Let the goal continue, Father, this difficult path. If Kathleen, especially, she can be part of that successful story, wonderful story of 46 for the Gomez's and the Corliss, for Thomas to really continue, even though so much pain. Take his pain and make it the offering on the offering table. For John, opposite Washington, Father, you continue to guide him, maximize for his ability, his hobby, his love for photography and the knowledge that he has now, eating apples, Father. Thank you for Dr. Sonneborn, and also Therese, an example, Father. We keep going, even though becoming old is not for sisters at all. The Lutz family, Thomas in the spirit world, and the Jacobs, Alejita, Father, for her to keep in this time, this amazing faith that she has. We pray for her and the son, and I forgot the father's, the son's name. Pray for Songja, Dr. Sonneborn, for Melina Ryan, the matching process, stewards, spirit world, and Teresa on earth for her. Keep going, Father, with a great livestock, and that she can be careful and any kind of broken bones. Really heal well, Father, from that fall. Pray, Father, for the Tapia family, the Ford family, the Samsung, Son's family, the Whites, and Allison and the Simpsons, who is a father. You have a father, has a son, Tucker family, the Valentines, Greens especially, Pierre Louis with the European ministry, Father, the All family, the Towskis, the Miles, and the Mayos, Father, pray for Smoke-san, for all the brothers and sisters, what is called the Satos, the Convos, Mays, and Nelsons, again, Father Henry, and Ray Bathroom, even though she's tired, she came on. Pray, Father, for Cole, especially to understand his role in the big scheme of the Moore family, Ismail family. Heal each one of my brothers and sisters in this amazing time with the parent thing, Father, to receive the revelation itself, myself, and to stay and be modest, abstain from any kind of dangerous give and take.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your prayers. Do we have any announcements? Oh, we do have a lot in the chat today. Everyone could take,
feel free to share the Morning Delight link if so inspired, and maybe share it with the single men out there, the members, friends of members or something. Yeah, I do believe morning devotion was a big contributor to matchings. I think so if you get people in here, I think it's a good, faith and substance condition.
How do we share the link?
Well, it's actually on our website too, right there. If you go to manhattanfamilychurch.org, okay, it's right there on the homepage. That's probably the easiest way. Otherwise, you can share the link that that you use to get on here. but I can share that link. I think it's on the homepage. Just click it. If I can share my screen. Here. So there's the homepage, ManhattanFamilyChurch.org. Click here. You can see me pointing at people too.
Okay, that's a good idea. That's a nice idea. Thank you. Yeah, and I could think of two couples right away that met because of morning devotions. It's nice. Okay. Well, if we don't have any more announcements, brothers and sisters, then happy Labor Day. It's a day off from work.
That's right.
That's right.
Happy Labor Day.
Labor Day. Happy Labor Day. Enjoy your holiday.
Yeah, Allison was able to come today. So have a great day, everyone. Enjoy the day.
Thank you.
God bless you.
God bless
Thank
you.
you.
We need to rename the day, the Labor of Love Day. Labor of Love Day.
Perfect.
Amen.
Yeah.
Hi,
John.
Bye.
Hi,
Bye.
John.
Bye.